Hello everybody. So I am out today. I am still working on my two-piece set, my skirt and top. However, I did see on Instagram that Joann's is having a sale on McCall patterns. They are $1.99, and I have a whole list of patterns that I wanted to get from McCall's. Many of them are from the Learn to Sew line of patterns. So I'm here at Joann Fabrics, ready to go inside and try to take advantage of this great sale. So once I'm finished here, I will be sure to share with you all the patterns I purchased from today's McCall's pattern sale. All right, you guys, I just left from Joann Fabrics. I was in there for about 30-45 minutes. I had my list of patterns I wanted to get by McCall's, and I actually realized I didn't have the needle I needed to continue working on my two-piece outfit. So I had to come to Joann's anyway to get my needle. So I got my needles. They did have a sale on some notions. I didn't get much there, but I was able to get several patterns that I had on my list, and I was able to get some fray check that I know I'll need at some point when I begin to work on my my knit patterns. So I will head back to go to my next errand. Sorry about all the movement, I'm trying to get back in my vehicle, but I will now show you guys what I was able to get today. So hi you guys, I promised I would come back to you and show you some of the McCall's patterns I picked up at the Joann pattern sale yesterday. They had on McCall patterns. So I was able to get into Joann, and I was able to get what I needed to continue making my two-piece self-drafted top and skirt set. I did pick up my 1070 sharp microtex needles, and I also picked up some fray check that I will need to use. I don't think I'll need it for this project because I'm not using a rayon. I'm not using a knit fabric. I'm using rayon, but I do know when I work on my serger, I will need some fray check to help with the fraying of the edges on my knit fabric. So I did pick up some fray check they had on sale as well. But this video here is really going to go into showing you the McCall patterns that I purchased. So someone told me in one of my previous videos that I should really consider looking at McCall's Learn to Sew patterns because they are really easy to understand. They're made for beginners, and they actually show you on the pattern itself what skill set you'll learn as you work on the pattern. So for this particular video, I will only show you the patterns I purchased under the McCall's Learn to Sew line. I picked up quite a few patterns overall, but I don't want the video to be too long, so I will break it up into two parts. The first part will be the Learn to Sew patterns, and the other part will be some of the other miscellaneous patterns I picked up on the McCall sale. So the first pattern is M8112. And it is a level 1 Learn to Sew, and it's a basic flat sleeve top and another top where I'm learning how to put on a neckband. So these are the two skill sets I'll learn when I make this particular pattern here. It looks like it's a basic tee, but I will learn how to do a flat sleeve construction and a neckband, view B and view C. And as I go through these patterns, guys, if you have any suggestions or experience working with these patterns, please feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm sure there are other people that might be starting off on their journey and will need to get some help in understanding how to use patterns and how to read them, the best fabric types, and just your overall experience in using the patterns. So please feel free to drop in the comments below any suggestions you have on these patterns I'm showing you today. So that is McCall's M8112. The next pattern is McCall's M8066. It is a, I don't know, it's a tiered skirt, I guess you can call it. But it shows you how to use gathers, how to work with gathers in view A. And in view D, it shows you how to do and use, how to use elastic casing. So these are the skills I'll learn, or that you will learn as you work with this particular pattern here by McCall's. And again, it's M8066. This next pattern here is M8069. It's also a level 1 learn to sew. It is a jumpsuit romper pattern. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe Creativity by T, if you follow her on Instagram and on YouTube, I think she just did a sew along for this pattern. I'm not certain, but I know she sewed this pattern not too long ago, and she was able to give some really good feedback on it. So if you check out her channel, you might find a little bit more about this pattern here. But it is a learn to sew level 1. It's M8069, and it's a jumpsuit pattern. So you learn to do a fabric belt in view A, and in view B, you learn to do a stitched hem along the bottom of the pant leg. McCall's M8064, simple dress, level 1. And for this one here, you also learn how to do a stitched hem and a neckband. I was really interested in finding lots of summer level 1 pattern pieces in the McCall's sale. Clearly, I will not get to do all of these this summer, but I have them now and I can work on them and hopefully have them made up for next summer, or work on them in time for next summer. Some of these patterns, I'm not sure in terms of the fabric choices. I may be able to do these for the fall and winter, but I'm not 100% certain. But at any rate, it's a level 1. It's a simple dress where I learned to do a neckband and a stitched hem for the dress itself. Another level 1 McCall's pattern, M8259, and it's a simple skirt. There are 4 different views on this skirt I can make. Yeah, 4 views I can make. For this one here, I will learn to do a true wrap skirt if I want to do version A. If I want to do variation C, I learn to do a curved hem. And for variation D, I learned to do a waistband and self-tie. And I think the only difference in these views here and what's here on view B is the ruffle. I'm not sure if that's a wrap or not. It might be the true wrap as represented here in variation A, but there's a bit more of a ruffle wrap here. So I think overall with this pattern, I will learn to do the true wrap skirt, a curved hem, and a waistband and self-tie. And again, this is M8259. The next McCall pattern here is M8061. And again, it's a basic skirt pattern, level 1. And I learned to do an elastic waistband and a shaped hem. I don't know what makes this a shaped hem. Maybe because it has this uneven hemline. I'm not certain, but it says this is a shaped hem. So I guess once I open up the pattern, I'll be able to see more about what the difference is between this hem here and all the other hems in the other skirts. This is another Learn to Sew level 1 by McCall's. It's M8062. An easy fit dress with a neckband, a stitched hem. Easy fit because it only requires medium weight to heavyweight knit fabrics such as cotton jersey, interlock, or novelty knits. And there are 3 pictures here, and then on the back side they show you a couple of other variations. I think there are still maybe 3, but they show you along here, I think, the backs and fronts of some of them. So this is it. Level 1, easy to sew. It's easy to fit. Neckband I get more practice in, and a stitched hem I get practice in. M8062 by McCalls. So this next pattern here, I actually purchased 2. I purchased 2 because I really wanted to get this pattern and get it like right and accurate. But it's M8063. These look like basic shorts and a drawstring pant. She's wearing these as what looks like maybe a capri style, maybe running errands, a lounge pant, I'm not sure, but the pictures make it look more like pajama pants. But again, based off the suggested fabrics, I might find that these can be worn even, out of the house. It requires medium weight woven fabric such as cotton blends, linen, chambray, challis, and denim. So yeah, I think these could be lounge pants or a basic drawstring, capri style, or full length pant. But with this pattern here, I will learn how to do a patch pocket and a drawstring. So this is another level 1 learn to sew by McCalls. And I don't know if I said it already, but I purchased 2 because I think I'm in between sizes, and they were only $1.99. So if I mess up one, I can go back and use the other one. I got 2 different sizes here because I'm not sure where I really fall. So I went ahead and purchased 2. So this is actually a level 2 learn to sew. I've heard lots of people talking about this pattern, recently. And, I looked at it and I wasn't sure about getting it, but it's a really popular pattern right now. And I didn't want the opportunity to pass by, and I missed out on grabbing it. So I did get this level 2 learn to sew by McCalls. And it's a it's a pretty dress, date night with the hubby. Yeah. So it is a learn to sew level 2 where I learned to do some ruching here, which you can see in the waist area and the bust area. A functional drawstring, which I guess would be here. And then again, there is the stitched hem. As you notice, a lot of the McCalls learn to sew patterns really help you focus on that stitched hem. I've seen that a lot, and I've also seen understanding or learning how to do the neckband as a beginner sewist. So, but this is a level 2, which I would assume that means you have to, pretty much nail down some of the basics that I've shown you in some of the other patterns before you actually get to like level 2. But I do have this pattern. I don't know when I'll sew it up, but I have it here ready to go when I do decide to work on it as a level 2 with the McCalls. So these other patterns here are not level based. They're just your basic learn to sew for fun. And they give you quite a few variations in each of these. This one here, I'm sorry, let me go back. I don't think I told you what the pattern number was for this one here. This pattern number is M8253. This is level 2. And I don't know if I said it or not, but this one here for the pants, level 1, was M8063. Okay, so now I'm back to the McCalls Learn to Sew for Fun. So Learn to Sew for Fun, it clearly says that these are patterns designed for the beginner sewist. So I assume everything in here is going to be really like beginner friendly. And it looks like it does show you on here what the different skills that you'll learn. So you will learn to do a neckband, a raglan sleeve, which I'm just learning what the raglan sleeve is. I've seen that before. I've heard a lot about it, and I now know what the raglan sleeve is. That's the sleeve where you have the stitching that kind of comes from the collarbone, but then down into the armpit. That's what a raglan sleeve is. And then you learn how to do a flattering, easy to fit knit. And again, here is the machine stitched hem. And this pattern here, I get a, I guess a dress, some dresses, and even a pair of nice, what looks to be like leggings. This is M7122. So this pattern here, another Learn to Sew for Fun, McCall's M7345. And these are some really what look to be easy skirts for girls. So I have two daughters, ages 6 and 10, and I do plan to make them some skirts, maybe over the summer and hopefully for the fall. I don't know if this pattern would be the one for that based off the fabric choices. Let me see. Fabric choices here are cotton jersey, interlock, matte jersey, and cotton knit. So I'm not sure. I have to see if this is something I would use for the fall and winter. But at any rate, this is McCall's M7345, and I learned to do it easy to sew, no zipper, the stitched hem, a flat elastic waistband, and a flattering easy to fit knit. A few more to go. Dresses, again for girls, in McCall's Learn to Sew for Fun line. M7589. And these are just your basic dresses that have the nice drawstring around the neckline. I get more practice in making a casing with the drawstring, making an elastic casing, and doing machine stitched hem. M7589. All right, another McCall's pattern, M7737, again for girls. And these are your cold shoulder, off the shoulder dresses. I thought these were very, very cute. And again, with these patterns here, I learned to sew with knits. I learned to use cut-off lines. I don't know what that is, cut-off line. That may have something to do with the sleeve. I'm not sure. And then I learned to make a cold shoulder sleeve, which is, you know, the popular shoulder out pattern design or fabric or just your basic cold shoulder design. So yeah, I thought this was really cute. And I do plan to try to make this sometime soon as well. M7737. And here is another McCall's Learn to Sew for Fun basic skirt, where you will learn how to do a patch pocket, learn to sew tie ends. I think that's this here. And learn to sew gathers. I'm not sure where the gather is. It might be with view D or view C. I don't know which one of these give me the gather. I'm not seeing a gather in any of these pictures, but somewhere in these variations, there's a gather that needs to be done. And I learned how to do that with this pattern piece here. And this is M7960. Home stretch, the very last fabric, or I'm sorry, very last pattern that I purchased with the McCall's Learn to Sew and the Easy to Sew line is M7936. And this is a jumpsuit, 2 jumpsuit variations and a romper variation. And again, this here, I will learn, oh, these are new skills. So I will learn to insert an invisible zipper, which is a really, really standard and basic skill that every sewist should know how to do. Learn to sew facings, learn to sew a belt. So these are, oh, this is actually, okay, this is level 2. This is a level 2 learn to sew for fun. I just noticed that some of these have a level 2. So let me see. This is the only learn to sew I have, learn to sew for fun, that is a level 2. And that makes sense. You're doing an invisible zipper now. You're learning how to sew facings, and you're learning to sew a belt. So I could see how that might be a level 2 sewing skill set. So these were the patterns I was able to find online and then in the store. I really had a hard time finding just like a category of all of McCall's Learn to Sew for Fun and their level 1, level 2 sewing patterns. So I did some research extensively over some time and was able to curate a whole list of just some patterns I thought were, that I knew fell in that category. So if there are other patterns that, are out there that are not referenced here, that are along the lines of learn to sew for fun, or along the lines of the, level 1 or level 2 learn to sew, please feel free to share them. I'm sure me and other beginner sewists really would appreciate having a list of just like great learn to sew level 1, level 2 patterns. I know McCall's especially does this. I'm not sure about all the other lines, but I know McCall's is really good about having a learn to sew and level 1, level 2 type patterns. Some of the other big fours have like easy, but I don't know really how easy they are. I haven't done any of those yet, but I do intend to work on some of these learn to sew. And I know even some of the most experienced sewers are using these patterns too, just to, get their sewjo back. Sometimes if you lose your sewjo, you just gotta, jump in and do something that's really simple and easy, that you can just kind of, go with the flow and just kind of get your mind and your, get yourself ready to sew again. So yeah, if you have any other patterns that you want to share, please drop those down in the comments below. If you have any experience whatsoever in sewing these patterns, again, put those comments below. Please be willing to share and give some suggestions and ideas and advice on these patterns, even with the fabric choices that, you might recommend for these patterns. Because I know me, like other people, other sewists, probably could use that information as we go and continue on this sewing journey. So yeah, so this is part 1. I will come back and do a part 2 later in the week on all the other McCall's patterns I purchased on the sale this weekend. But until then, if you like this video, please like it. And if you want to hear and see more content from me, please make sure you subscribe. And until the next time, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Bye.